Bollinger Motors recently revealed its B1 Sport Utility and B2 pickup. These all-electric off-roaders are prototypes, a preview of what's going to go into production. Bollinger has moved away from a two-door format with the B1 into a four-door. This is what they're actually going to produce. And they've also added a pickup truck, which has a longer wheelbase than the B1 and is about 3 feet longer overall, with a pretty big pickup truck bed. Both the B1 and B2 are meant to go off-road. They're meant for working. They've got a lot of ground height and a lot of adjustability to them. Now, apart from the length and the truck bed, these are pretty much the same vehicle. They have the same 120 kilowatt-hour battery, the same electric motors, one at each axle, and the same cool retro aesthetic. These aren't meant to fight Tesla and the like. Bollinger is a completely different beast. One look at the inside and you'll see very little in the way of electronics. There's no giant touchscreen. There are a lot of analog gauges and analog switches. The B1 and B2 are very mechanical. They have mechanical windows, mechanical doors. It's very metal on metal, and it's really satisfying. There are some features that make Bollinger's trucks stand out quite a bit from other vehicles too. Up front, there's a storage space that you can pass through all the way from the front to the very rear of the truck. So you can put lumber or very long pipes or whatever you need to down the length of the vehicle. They also have glass roofs that are removable, reconfigurable, so it's pretty cool inside. Despite looking very Spartan and very simple, it's pretty comfortable to sit in. And everything's really nice to the touch. Everything feels high quality, very solid, and very sturdy. But we can't wait to get into one of these things and drive it off-road. So these vehicles have been 4 years in the making, and it's been a long process. Bollinger Motors started out in New York, but they've relocated to Michigan, which makes sense. It's home to a lot of parts and equipment suppliers. Bollinger has said that they really like the Detroit ethos for car making, and they want to build their electric truck and SUV here in Detroit. We don't know anything about pricing yet, and we don't know when it's going to go on sale, but we hope to find out soon. The B1 and B2 have been part of a long process, beginning as a two-door prototype concept vehicle and moving to the two trucks that were just revealed. These trucks are a lot closer to what we can expect to go on sale when the time comes. Bollinger says that it's moved away from the two-door to the four-door, and they say they don't have plans to go back to the two-door at this point. They're going to focus on the B1 and B2 that you see here. This is going to be what's going into production and what they hope becomes their bread and butter. Our biggest question is, can Bollinger really pull this off? They seem like a scrappy crew, but they don't have startup funding. Making cars from the ground up is not easy, and a lot of these new EVs popping up seem to come out of nowhere and sort of feel like vaporware. We would love to see this dream come to fruition, but we're not completely certain what the future holds. We don't think anyone is, but we can hope. Another thing about these vehicles, obviously, they're not very aerodynamic. They're bricks, so we don't know what that's going to do to range. These have a huge battery pack, 120 kilowatt hours, but they're big, they're bulky, and they're going to drag a lot through the air. We don't know what that's going to do to efficiency. We think most buyers won't really care all that much, as long as they have enough to get them around. They can plug in at the end of the day and not have to worry about it. It looks cool for sure, but when you get down and look at some of the details, it feels very off the shelf. Like this is something that people built by hand, and you really feel that. There's no flashy infotainment, there's no swoopy LED lighting signatures, there's no digital, basically anything here. Bollinger took those resources, the money, the time, the effort, and put that into all the stuff underneath. The electric powertrain, the suspension, making this rugged, making this capable, making this have a lot of storage. There are some fancy features like the glass roof. We're not completely sold on that, but some people are really gonna love it. It's kind of a neat party trick. But basically, this is a down-to-basics vehicle that happens to be an EV, and we like that. We're not sure if everyone will, especially the people with money to buy it. They may want something that has that extra bit of luxury and convenience. It's hard to be certain how this will change the automotive market. We know people are looking for bigger EVs. They want crossovers, they want trucks. Those are the cars that people are buying en masse. And you know, if you want to get people into EVs, they have to be in those formats that people buy. We're not sure how well this will sell though. It's probably going to be pretty expensive. But if Bollinger can sell it, it'll be quite the accomplishment. Because they're going up against companies like Rivian, who have hundreds of millions of dollars in funding from investors like Amazon. Bollinger doesn't have that luxury, so it'll be interesting to see what comes of this. But this is part of a trend, and it's a good trend. And we hope that it's a trend that survives. So here they are, the Bollinger B1 and B2 electric sport utility vehicles. You've got the SUV and the pickup. This is basically what they're going to look like if they come to market at some point in the future, but there's still a lot up in the air. We have a lot to learn about pricing and production, so we're going to be talking to Bollinger more in the weeks and months to come. But so far, we like what we see, and we can't wait to see what the future holds.